On the deck of the clubhouse at Antrim Dells. One of my earlier golf efforts, did the first 9 in the early 70s and the second 9 about 3 to 5 years later. It's a great golf site. It's on the rolling hills of Antrim County, right along Lake Michigan, and it truly was a great site for golf. It's got a lot of elevation. There's 2 major ridges in there, and of course, when you have major ridges, you have major valleys. We had some wetland issues, but we accomplished that. They were much more lenient back then to build golf holes than they are today. We'd have a difficult time building some of these holes under today's regulations, but back then we did it. It's been a golf course that I think has been ignored. It's just kind of a lost child, I think, and it's a wonderful golf course. Always been one of my favorites, and always will be. It's just a fun place to play. Things were a lot simpler back then, and not so many bunkers. But the yardage is there, the challenge is there, and it's an extremely beautiful golf site to see and enjoy the game of golf. The third hole here at Antrim Dells was pretty much carved out of the edge of a cedar swamp. Had a nice little stream coming down through it, and so we dug a pond here and built the 2 tees. The green site was up on a natural ridge, so we created a green, added bunker left and right, and it's a relatively long par 3, 207 yards from the back, but it's very playable. All the shots kick in that are going right, kick back into the fairway, and so there's plenty of room for a tee shot. But on the other hand, there's an ample room to spray a whole lot. But it's challenging, but it's fair. Front of the green is wide open, and it's a great par 3. Fifth hole at Antrim Dells is a cute little 150-yard shot. It's flanked on the left and right by some trees. Got a little water hazard in front, but and it plays into the wind, actually. The green is probably a somewhat difficult target. It's a semi-elevated plateau, falls off quite sharply, front, left, and rear. And it's flanked by 2 sand bunkers, but the front of the green is really quite wide open. So it's certainly not a penal par 3. It's challenging, but it's also very fair, and there's a lot of room over there to hit a golf shot without getting in trouble. So it's a good par 3, and it's about the right length. The 9th hole is a 392-yard par 4 dogleg left, fairly a good dogleg left. The easy part of the hole is the tee shot. It's a pretty wide open tee shot, and but then when it gets out there to 250, 270, 280, it turns fairly quickly and goes uphill quite dramatically to an elevated green, probably 40 or 50 feet above the landing area. It's flanked by 2 bunkers, and it has a nice ridge behind it, so you're not going to overshoot it. It's a nice setting for a great finish hole, which has to get back up on the ridge where the clubhouse is located, so it's a pretty good finish hole. Tenth hole at Antrim Dells is a beautiful golf hole because it starts off the ridge that the clubhouse is located on, which is about 60 or 70 feet above the fairway area down below. And it works well as the dogleg left, about 395 yards, but it works well because the right side is entirely tree-lined, and the left side also is entirely tree-lined with mostly maples, hard maples, and it just makes for a very attractive, inviting tee shot off of this hill. It's a pretty open shot into the green. The right side is protected pretty close by the maple trees. The left side of the green is guarded by a big bunker, so you need to kind of favor the right side but not get into the trees. 13 is a 172-yard par 3, the most elevated tee shot that we have here at Antrim Dells, and it was one of the few holes that when I came on site here, just jumped out and said, this is a natural golf hole right here. The water feature was there. The end of the ridge was here, about 30-40 feet above the green. So there's a lot of room to hit a golf ball to that green without getting in a whole lot of trouble. But it's all there. The elevation, the view of the trees in the background, and the birch trees down by the pond. It's just a beautiful par 3, and it plays very well. The 16th hole is pretty straightaway par 3, playing at 191 yards from the back and 136 from the forward tee, so it should take care of all ranges of golfers. While it's straightforward, it's a pretty golf hole. It's got an elevated tee and an elevated green site. It slopes gently up to the green all the way up there, so it's well bunkered, strongly bunkered on the left side, and on the right side not quite so much, but it pinches the opening down quite a bit. But it's a challenging shot, but it's very fair. There's a lot of room out there to hit a golf ball, and it's just a very nice par 3 leading into the two more difficult finish holes. We're on 18th hole at the 150-yard mark on 18, which is a really good strong finish hole. It's pretty straight away, and it doesn't appear to be, but there are some factors here on site that make it. It slopes from left to right all the way. The entire hole slopes left to right, so anything coming down too far right will skip into the right rough. The hole is tree lined both sides, so there's no wandering too far off fairway or rough, and it plays up to a green that's elevated about 10 or 12 feet above the 150-yard mark, and the green is solidly protected on the left with a steep bank coming in off the ridge and a bank behind it, but the right side of the green is just simply guarded by a rather large, massive face bunker, and so the deception is in the green surface and where the pin is sitting, and that's what the second shot in. It makes this a really demanding finish hole.